Hello there and welcome to the first weekly roundup for 2021. We hope you've had a good new year. Just before we get going, please don't forget to subscribe to receive free stock market content. Also, if you've got any questions, do pop them in the comments box below. We would love to hear from you. And finally, we'd like to invite you to follow our free stock market reports on banking stocks, IPO stocks, and also tech stocks using the link in the descriptions below. Before we get stuck in with what's been going on this week, just would really like to draw your attention to the share tips from Atlantic markets for 2020. So top of the pile was Forexpo, that gained 117%. We had Ocado, which was up 87%, Royal Dutch Shell, which was down 41%, Unilever up 5%, Vodafone was down 18%, and Bidstock down 20%. Now, overall, that painted a picture of a gain of 21%, which outperformed the broader market. So as far as share tips for 2021 are concerned, they're going to be coming out soon. So do keep an eye on your inbox, all you subscribers, and all those of you that haven't subscribed, do so to make sure you receive them. So this week has been a very eventful week for the first real week back in the market. So we've had over here in the UK and over in the US, the focus really remains very much on coronavirus and also the vaccine rollout. So although coronavirus cases are surging, particularly here in the UK, optimism surrounding the vaccine rollouts and so a potential solid economic recovery is keeping stocks pushing higher. So the DAX has actually charged 2.5% higher this week. It's hit a fresh all-time high. The FTSE has outperformed peers on both sides of the Atlantic. So we've got the FTSE was trading up over 6% higher this week. Now there are two things that have been helping the FTSE here. Firstly, the banks have had a good run higher. There was one day which they really surged, I believe it was Wednesday. And we've got that sort of clarity with the end of Brexit has really helped there. And then also oil stocks have absolutely charged higher this week on the back of rising oil prices, and we'll come to that shortly. So we've also had the first major risk event of 2021, and that was the Senate runoff elections in Georgia. Now, the Democrats won both seats, which were up for grabs, and that means that they do now have the controlling hand in the Senate House. They also do control from the elections, the House of Representatives, and also Joe Biden is a Democrat. So we have here a blue wave. Now, what that means is it's much easier for Joe Biden to pave through push through his policies and his legislation. Now, the market's particularly interested in the idea of what this will mean for additional fiscal stimulus. They're expecting a much bigger fiscal stimulus on the back of this blue wave. And so from that, we've seen appetite for stocks increase. We've seen the S&P push higher, Dow also push higher. They're up around 1.3% this week. And also we've seen US Treasury yields jump, and that's actually pulled the US dollar off multi-year lows as well. So it's still just struggling at that, the US dollar index is still struggling at that $90 mark, but it has picked up off the lows. As far as oil is concerned, now oil, as I said, has had a very strong week. It's surged over WTI has surged over 6.5%, and that's because at the beginning of the week we had the OPEC Plus meeting. Now what happened there on the Monday, the group couldn't agree to production strategy going forward. We had Russia who were looking to increase production, and then there was Saudi Arabia who wasn't in the mood for that. So what happened by Tuesday is Saudi Arabia voluntarily said they will cut 1 million barrels per day through February and March, whereas Kazakhstan and Russia were going to increase their output by 75,000 barrels per day. So the overall net impact there is a cut by the OPEC Plus group. Now that wasn't necessarily expected, and it sent oil soaring higher. And the other key takeaway from that meeting, I think, is that tensions between Russia and Saudi Arabia have previously been extremely strained. The fact that they could coordinate an action is also seen as a positive for the oil market. Let's not forget, it was only back in March last year where the standoff between the two sides sent oil prices into negative territory briefly. So as far as stocks are concerned this week, we have had some big rises. I think oil has been the outperformer. We've seen oil majors, BP has been risen over 16% this week. Royal Dutch Shell has also had an exceptional week, trading over 14% higher. Also, as I mentioned, banks have had a strong week. Barclays has traded up over around 6.5% across the week. So thanks very much for joining us, and as I said, please don't forget to subscribe, especially to receive the 2021 share outlook. Thanks very much and have a good week.